Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. I hope that all of you are having a good week so far. I hope that you are all healthy and happy. Students, in this class we are looking at IELTS Speaking Part 2, talking about a place to meet people. Speaking Part 2 in the IELTS exam is a roughly 3 to 4 minute session where you are doing most of the talking based on one specific topic. This specific topic today is talk about a place to meet a person. Welcome Fuang, hi Dylan, Alexi, Romelia. Nice to see our members in the class. This is a members chat class. Everybody's welcome to watch. It's a good idea to watch because in 2 hours we'll have a speaking part 3 class where everybody will be able to join the chat. Welcome Chen, our chat moderator. Alexi, I did see that email that you sent about moderation. I'll get to that today, tomorrow. Thank you for that. Students, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Check us out there. For the general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. Both of those websites are used to power these live classes, the content, the lessons, the audio materials. This is aehelp.com here. You can click this big red button that's just right above my head there to join our premium IELTS package, which includes all of our practice exams, over 100 hours of video lessons, and much, much more. We will use this website shortly to interact with our students today. We'll use this page here with all of these goodies. We'll use the student partner speaking. This is general IELTS here, gieltshelp.com. You can again click that big red button. We are an IDP affiliate. We're a British Council partner. We're an IELTS test registration center. We have been helping students around the world with IELTS for nearly 20 years. When you click that red button, you can use the code READ9. Inspired by getting a band 9 in the reading section and our latest video release. So you can apply that code, get a 10% discount, and you are good to go. Students, we have apps for you as well. The apps are Academic IELTS Help, General IELTS Help. You can get those from your app stores, of course, and link them to the websites under More in the app. And again, on the websites, you can use this discount code. We have Instagram also. Instagram is IELTS_AEHelp, GIELTS Help. Instagram has our schedules and vocabulary, some fun reels, so check that when you have a second. And for questions, just send me an email to adrian@aehelp.com or admin@aehelp.com. Amazon has our exam books, AEhelp's Academic IELTS, GHelp's General IELTS. Search for these titles here on Amazon if you want a hard copy of our exams. Students, our schedule, we've got the 2 speaking classes right now, Speaking Part 2, followed by Speaking Part 3. Then we've got a couple days off this time, so Sunday, Monday, no class. And then on Tuesday, I'm back with Speaking Part 1 for everybody. So a little bit of a shorter break this week than usual. That's because next week I will be away on the weekend, so we're not going to miss any classes. We're just going to shift some of these classes. I'll post this schedule on the YouTube community board as well shortly. And we've got a very special class for you coming up on the 16th as well. Make sure to mark that in your calendar. I'm going to have a guest speaker with me in the class, a former IELTS examiner with lots of experience examining students' writing and speaking. So you'll have some chances to ask questions from an actual examiner there, or a former examiner, I should say. YouTube, we always release videos that are good for you to see, pre-recorded. We've got this one for you in this last week. Check that out when you have 10 minutes. Fairly short videos. There you go. It's also in the chat there, everybody. Okay, let's get to IELTS speaking part 2. The cue card. So you're in the IELTS exam. The speaking section, of course, is done separately from the other 3 sections: listening, reading, writing. The speaking is fast. Well, relatively. The interview takes only about 12 to 15 minutes, but you should show up about an hour early. So if you count your preparation, arrival, check-in time, practicing with other candidates, it should be about an hour and a half, start to finish in this sense. But the actual interview itself, where you're sitting with the examiner, is only about 12 to 15 minutes. It's very fast, and you have to really show your best English. Part 2 is arguably the most important in the speaking section. It's where it's also called the long part. You'll hear people in the IELTS industry refer to it as the long part of the IELTS exam, speaking exam. That's because you speak for 2 minutes, more or less giving a mini presentation. Okay, so when you prepare for your IELTS speaking, you do have to think about it like not just preparing to speak English, but also preparing to present. Okay, so think about part 2 as not just a test of speaking English, but also a test of your ability to give a mini presentation for 2 minutes. Why do you think they do that, by the way? So members, why do you think IELTS would include this kind of a task, part 2 speaking, where they're testing your ability to do kind of like a mini presentation, a sustained mini presentation? What do you think? So what do you think, students? I see that you've given the salutations. Romelia, I have not received your email. Can you please send it again? I'm not sure why I haven't seen it. I'll do a search for it, okay, now that you're telling me. But I haven't seen it, so I'll take a look, okay? Silviana says to improve our critical thinking. Not to improve, but to test, right, Silviana? IELTS is not a teacher. It's just testing you. So to test your critical thinking, yes. Romelia says for universities and jobs, yes, absolutely. So the part 2 mini presentation is important because this skill is frequently required in school and work in many English-speaking societies. Okay, just so you kind of get an idea around this, in the public school system in Canada, in the US, in the UK, in Australia, it's common to begin practicing presentation skills as early as grade 3, grade 4. Okay, so commonly in the US, UK, and Canada, and of course Australia and New Zealand as well, it is or I should say presentation skills are started as early as grade 3 or 4. I still remember my very first presentation to this day. It was on the emu bird. It was me and 2 of my classmates. We presented, we had to draw a big picture and then do a presentation basically on the appearance and the behavior, the life of the emu bird. So that was my grade. I believe it was grade 4, that one. So my grade 4 presentation on the emu bird. It's kind of like a small ostrich. If some of you are Googling, like, what is an emu? It's an interesting bird. And I still, as you can see, I still remember facts about the emu. It's kind of like a small ostrich. Okay, so that's why. Okay, the IELTS wants to see, are you ready for these challenges? Have you thought about this as you prepare yourself for university and for work, right? Okay, so there is logic here. It's not like IELTS just is trying to punish people and is getting them to do this part 2. So there's a lot of reasons for the way that the exam is structured in this way, okay? So you need good presentation skills. And what do presentation skills require? So what do you think? So when I was that little grade 4, roughly 10-year-old kid, what kind of skills do you think my teacher would have suggested in that context? So what skills are important when giving presentations? These are important for the IELTS part 2. Absolutely. If you want to get a good band score, which I'm sure all of you do, like a band 7, 8, 9, you need to think about these presentation skills. Romelia says good oratoric skills. Okay. Silviana says clear explanation. Romelia says catch the audience attention. Yeah, okay, so catch the audience attention. Sure. All right. Silviana says time management. Very good. Amra says maintain eye contact. Yeah, we can say engage your audience. Could be maintaining eye contact for sure. Is a part of that. Yep. They will say when you are giving a presentation, you should maintain eye contact. That's a part of it. Absolutely. Okay. Jatinder says be confident. Yes. Show confidence. Silviana says clear explanation. Yes, absolutely. So good structure and clear explanation. Okay. Yeah, those are all really good tips. Fuang says body language. Absolutely, right? So even though the examiner is not directly marking you on body language, of course it becomes a part of your overall performance, right? It's connected. So body language, yes, absolutely. Okay. Alexi says it has to be coherent. Yes, of course. You can't start by talking about an emu bird and then finish by talking about a Boeing 747. People will be like, what just happened there? How did that emu become a Boeing airplane? Especially since it's a bird that does not fly. Okay. So those are some really good ideas. So I can tell that, a lot of you have obviously had a bit of training with presentations and presentation skills. Keep those in mind for part 2. Romelia, catch the audience's attention was a good one. How do we do that? How do we catch the attention of the audience? Right? Jen's like, right? So how do we catch the attention of the audience? And of course, your examiner is not like, they're not marking you caught my attention, but these do relate to what they are marking you on, which is coherence, fluency, accuracy, grammatical range, and their overall evaluation, right? Lexi says gripping. I don't think you mean grapping. I think you mean gripping material. What kind of material? So how do I make it gripping? Romelia says keeping it kind of a mystery, revealing info gradually. Maybe, Romelia. We don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole. Fuang says by clapping our hands, maybe. If your examiner looks like they're half asleep, then just boom, big clap. No, I don't recommend that. I don't recommend doing that. Chayani says make some visualizations. Yes, like draw a picture on your note paper. And as you can see from my graph here, no, don't draw pictures on your note paper and do a visual presentation. Although, you know what? You never know. For the first couple candidates, that might actually be a positive. I think if everybody starts doing that, that would be a problem. Okay, students, remember what I keep telling you when we talk about your ideas. Okay, so let's jump ahead here a little bit. We'll come back to that part in a moment. Okay. Let's jump ahead here a little bit and let's take a look at the actual IELTS cue card here. Okay, so this is IELTS speaking part 2. Talk about where it is good to meet new people. Where is it and what does it look like? Who goes there? What activities happen there? Why is it a good place to meet people and how does this happen? Okay, so we've got about 5 different questions here, right? And once we have read the cue card carefully and we know that we need to talk about a place where it is good to meet people, don't talk generally for part 2, even if the card looks like it's kind of general. Talk about a specific place that you go to or that you know where it is good to meet new people. Okay. And then elaborate on that. Natty, welcome to our group of members. I see just joined up. Happy to have you here with us. So once you've done that, once you've read the card, then you have to think about your answer, right? And I always tell you that when you think about your answer, think about at least 2 to 3 different possible choices, right? So this is a very, very important tip. Okay, always think about 2 to 3 different choices for your answer so you can choose the best one. Okay, so give me some places, everybody. Where is a good place to meet a new person? Okay, so somebody might say at my local gym. Sure. Okay. Romelia says events like workshop. Careful not to confuse this with an event, Romelia. What is a good place to meet new people? Okay, not what is a good event to meet new people, like a birthday or something, right? So be really careful. Fuang says at my local library. Okay. All right, Dylan says at dance school. Yep. Jatinder says at the amusement park. Good. Bogdan says at university. All right. Cafe down the street. Okay, so good. We've got a few different places. Now in the real exam, as I said to you, you only really need to think about 2 to 3. So you don't need to think of 5 or 6. Okay. Chen, be also very careful saying something like a business seminar. Okay. Where is a good place? A business seminar is not necessarily a place. An event center where you might go frequently for workshops and seminars could be. Okay, Romelia, this is for you as well. Okay, but it's location. Okay, so be very careful with the question. Where is a good place? Okay, talk about where it is good to meet new people. Where is it? This will give you a little bit more help here that it's a place. And what does it look like, right? You can't really describe what a seminar looks like. It's a bit awkward. Okay, what activities happen there? So if you look at the questions, you notice that you're talking about a place here. Okay. All right, so we've got local gym, we've got the library, we've got the dance school, we've got an amusement park, university, cafe, event center. All right. When you make your choice, what should you pay attention to? So what should you consider when deciding what to talk about for those 2 minutes? So when before the examiner, says, okay, your preparation time is up. Okay, Philo says to be not boring or to not have too casual of a topic, right? Okay, so yeah, or another way to say it on the positive or in the positive perspective, Philo, is be original. So have a relatively original topic. Okay, absolutely. So this is key to having a good presentation, right? As I believe it was Romelia that said it first when we asked the question, what skills are important when you're giving a presentation? And then Romelia says you need to catch the audience attention. So your topic should be relatively original. Okay, if you are the 10th candidate on that day presenting on the same topic, it's going to be harder to get a good score. Okay, because it's not going to sound as original. Your lexical resource will sound repetitive of other candidates as well. And even though the examiner evaluates every candidate separately as an individual, it's virtually impossible for the human mind not to compare or not to think about what has happened that day with the previous candidate or the one before it. So let me give you an example here. Which of these topics at my local gym, at the library, the dance school, amusement park, university, cafe down the street, which one of these do you think a lot of students would pick and it might sound kind of repetitive or even somewhat boring for the examiner? Which one of these topics here do you think would be kind of like, heard it, not so exciting, not so interesting? It sounds almost like everybody's just memorizing this. Okay, yeah, so look at the chat, everybody. Amra, Dylan, Fuang, Chayani immediately picked out the ones I picked out too. So I would say that from these topics, if you're talking about your library to meet people, or if you're talking about, let's do it in red, so that you can let's do it like that. So if you're talking about the library or a coffee shop or a cafe, I would bet that's probably some of the most popular topics. It would almost seem like you thought about those before you even went to the exam and tried to practice them. If the examiner feels that you pre-practiced an answer and you're just trying to adjust it to any question, they will not give you a good score. Okay? So you have to be careful with that. All right? Okay? So cafe, library, definitely. Even the gym. Yeah. Okay. So which one of these sounds original? Which one of these would sound like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I haven't heard that one yet today. That seems like it'll have some original vocabulary, and I'm going to actually pay attention to what the person's saying. Okay, yeah. Amra and Alexi says dance school for sure. Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. It's very visual, it's very interactive, it's kind of fun, it's kind of exciting. So dance school would be a good choice, right? So we can pick that for today. We can go with that, okay? Making the right choice for part 2, in my opinion, is top 3 most important tips or steps for your speaking section, okay? So keep that in mind. So making a great choice for part 2 is one of the top 3 tips to get the best score possible in your speaking. Okay, so practice that at home. Okay. And here the example is dance school. Look, and you can see, I mean, that's why I get your input too. So you realize that, you know, it's not just me talking your ear off and telling you, oh, that's a boring topic. Oh, that's the exciting topic. We all kind of agree. So if you look at the chat, and you can see that each of us independently kind of have the same thoughts or the same ideas. So why would the examiner be any different? Of course they're not. They're just another human like you or me. So they're thinking the same way ultimately. They're thinking, I've heard that one 10 times today. I'm not going to give them a 9, that's for sure. But when they hear something like, oh, my local dance club or dance school, that'd be like, oh, okay, that's kind of interesting. What do you have to say about that, right? So it sounds exciting. All right, so let's go with that. So dance school is good because it's original and there's lots of content. And it's relatively easy to talk about. Okay, don't get into too much technical talk about dance. You're talking about your dance school mostly, okay? All right, so let's do that. Let's talk about the dance school. And even if you're not into dancing, you can talk about it, okay? All right, so now we've got a good topic for presentation. So we have good foundation. We're in the right direction, okay? All right, so when you're talking about a place, okay, and this is certainly a place, what should you do? What do you need to include? All right. Romelia says, true story, I've made friends with a girl in the funicular, don't know if it's the correct English word, in Milan on my way to Lago Como. All right, Romelia, thanks for sharing that. Yeah. I'm not sure what you mean by funicular. This word sounds familiar, but I'm not sure of its meaning. If you can explain it to us, Romelia. Jatinder says location. Yes, so it's location and its appearance. Those should usually come together. Absolutely. The attendees. Yes, activities. And the experience. Yeah. Natty, within the appearance, we can give some measurements and the look of it. Absolutely. Okay. Philo says funicular is a type of rail system, I think. Okay. Oh, it's a cable car, Alexi. Yes, that makes sense. Cable car. We use that word for sure. All right. So students, location, appearance, attendees, activities. You've got your dance school, and then you take some notes. All right. So what does it look like? Okay, it's a dance school. It's got a studio. That's maybe 30 meters by 30 meters. Let's make it nice and big. Okay. Lots of windows. Bright. Maybe it's got a kitchen, so you can do food and dance events, right? Okay. Don't get too lost on the appearance, okay? Location. So this would be the appearance. Now, when you're doing your notes, if you need a reminder of what to include when you're talking about a location, for the appearance, just do like the letter A. For location, just do the letter L. Okay, don't write out the full words. Make sure you maximize the use of your time. So every second should be maximized, okay? Air conditioned, yes, Jatinder, so it's comfortable. Location, maybe it's like 2 kilometers from your home. And you might give something specific like close to downtown, okay? All right. And then attendees. Maybe you'll do an AT for that one. Attendees. So who goes to this dance school? Okay, a dance choreographer. Yeah, maybe there's a teacher there or an instructor, choreographer. Okay. Teens and adults. Some sexy girls and guys. Full of energy. Sure. Yeah, why not? Think about the personalities of those people as well. They're probably going to be healthy, ambitious, love fitness, right? Love dance. Because you're meeting people there, right? So think about the types of people you want to meet. Think about the types of people that go to dance studios, dance schools, right? Energetic people. Romelia says, single and ready to mingle. I love it. Single and ready to mingle. See all the good language that comes to mind, Romelia, when you have a good topic? This, of course, is another very good reason to have a good topic for your part 2, because then language just gives itself, right? It just starts to come to mind, okay? All right. You definitely got me and everybody else chuckling, Romelia. Maybe even some rosy cheeks out there. Some rosy cheeks from single and ready to mingle. All right. Good. So that is the attendees. Activities. Okay. So what happens there? And then here you might have something like an AC for that one. Okay. Activities. All right. So of course you dance, right? Don't write words into your notes that are obvious. Like, don't write down the word dancing. Okay, Chayani, don't write dancing into your notes. Chayani erased it quickly. Oh, you said don't write. Yeah, so don't write dance. That's obvious, right? So instead of writing dancing, give some more details. Okay, so Silviana says traditional dance. Okay, so we don't even need to write dance. We just write traditional. What else? Maybe slow dance, rhythm dancing, right? So maybe some salsa, some cha-cha, hip-hop, modern dance. Yeah, maybe you have some dance parties, right? Nati says bachata, salsa. There you go. So when you use those words in your part 2, like you say, we do lots of high energy Latin rhythm dances like salsa or cha-cha. then you're going to get points for that. So you obviously get a better band score when you can explain that level of detail. And you're also making it exciting for that examiner, right? They're having fun. So you have dance parties, appetizers, conversations, right? Obviously, you're going to have some conversations with dance partners, okay? Look at all the great information. Sylviana says some K-pop, some Zumba. Good. And then your experience, right? And you could just do like an E in your notes for that. Okay. So what are your experiences? You obviously have lots of fun. Okay. So you're going to know that. You don't have to write that down, right? So enjoyable, lots of fun. You meet new friends, right? Don't forget the topic of the card. Okay? Meet new friends, dance partners, like-minded people. Okay? Good. So with the notes, be fast, okay? Think about details, think about information that is not necessarily obvious, okay? So think about the idea like dance and then think about the next step, okay? What kinds of dance, right? Okay. All right. Now I've got my notes. I've got a good idea and I'm ready to give my mini presentation. Before my 1 minute preparation time is up, what do I need to do? It's very, very important. Okay. So before the examiner says your 1 minute time is up, please begin speaking. I need to take one more step. Yes, Sylviana says, prepare your first sentence tip. This is probably, so having an interesting topic for part 2 and having your first sentence ready are probably the two best tips I can give to any person watching this class for making sure that you get a good mark, okay? So another very important tip, have your first sentence ready. Okay? Make it direct. All right? That means answer the topic immediately. Okay? Let me again explain this to you. So I know a lot of students do this. Well, there are many places to meet new people, such as gyms, libraries, and cafes. Let's do it like that, and a cafe. All right, now in all honesty, let's say that you are the examiner, right? Or let's say that you're just a person talking to someone doing a presentation. Okay? If I start like this, well, there are many places to meet new people, such as gyms, libraries, and a cafe. Does that get you excited or interesting? Like genuinely, does it go, oh, this sounds really interesting? Does it sound like that? Okay. All right. Here, I'll give you another version. This is what Natty's saying. The place I would like to talk about is a dance studio located 500. I'll take your criticism here. So located 500 meters from my home. All right, so let's take these three versions. Okay, so here is version 1. Here's version 2. Here's version 3. And imagine that you're listening to the same person start the same presentation in 3 different situations, right? Well, there are many places to meet new people, such as gyms, libraries, and a cafe. The place I would like to talk about is a dance studio located 500 meters from my home. An awesome place to meet great people is Stars Dance Studio located about 3 kilometers from my home. Which one of these first sentences will get your interest the most? 1, 2, or 3? Okay, so Amra, Romelia, Fuang all say 3. Okay, all right. Why? Yeah, Silviana says it's very specific. Philo says it got my attention. It's specific in the word choice, right? So notice how using a word like awesome, of course, immediately gets our attention, like an awesome place. And notice how I'm using great people. So not just people, but great people, right? So those word choices. Plus, it's very, very direct. Okay, so this is actually quite technical. And this is a part of presentations. With good presentations, the rule is be specific, right? So answer directly and don't tell people what you want to talk about. Just tell them, okay? So you hear this from different professors or teachers who teach on presenting. So you shouldn't tell your audience what you will or want to talk about. Instead, just talk about it. Okay? So go directly at it, like directly state it, right? Does that make sense? Okay? So directly talk about it. Okay? So when you think about your first sentence, keep those in mind. Okay? All right. So you have your first sentence. An awesome place to meet great people is Stars Dance Studio located about 3 kilometers from my home. I frequent this place at least once or twice each week to mingle with friends and newcomers. Okay, so mingling, which was a word used by Romelia, is good vocabulary. That's where you connect and you talk with other people. Okay, the studio is a bright space with lots of windows located on the 2nd floor. It has a 30 by 30 meter dance floor and a kitchen for food and drink during dance parties and competitions. Okay, so at this point, all I'm doing is thinking about my notes, which are here. Of course, we talked about the appearance, right? And I'm thinking about the cue card. Okay. All right. Domenico, you want to be imaginative. Okay. even if it's not your cup of tea. And Domenico, even if a dance studio is not your cup of tea, challenge yourself. That's how you develop your language. That's how you develop your quick analytical thinking, is by challenging yourself with topics that are not your cup of tea. I highly recommend doing that before you sit your IELTS exam. Okay? All right. So you keep going and you keep that thought pattern in mind, right? So appearance, location, attendees, activities, and experience, and that's your structure, because when you give a presentation, it must have structure for it to be a good presentation. So it must have a beginning, a middle, and an end, okay? And when you tell a story, think about it like a movie, right? How does a movie start? Movies start by giving you the setting, the background, so where it's taking place, what time it's taking place, right? Like in feudal Japan, 1,000 years ago, right? Okay, in ancient Tokyo, right? So near the base of Mount Fuji. So for this story, we set it up by giving the appearance and giving the location and the time, right? So that's how we set it up. And then the characters lived a samurai, Satahiro. He was the greatest samurai of all time, a large samurai by any measure, almost 2 meters tall, right? So we give the characters and then we talk about the activities, right? So what happened? Okay, so that's your presentation style. Okay, all right, in this case it's the place to meet new people. So it has a 30 by 30 meter dance floor, a kitchen for food and drink during dance parties and competitions. Mostly teenagers and adults frequent this venue to learn both smooth and rhythm dances, and share in their love for exercise and moving to music. Okay? All right. So the people who attend there, the dance teachers are outstanding and friendly individuals, always there to encourage and support members. All right? So there's your dance teachers. All right? Now, stay focused on the topic. It's a great place to meet people. Okay? So the reason this dance studio is fantastic for making new friendships and networking is because it is filled with energetic, healthy people who are like-minded in many ways, and everyone is in close proximity, especially for couples dances. So within a short time, people get to know each other well, trust each other, as dance is a great way to build trust and form valuable relationships. Okay? I have met several of my closest friends at this place over the past 4 years since I have been a member. Okay, so you can really build a lot of fluency. I'm just flying along here because I really just visualize myself as a member of this dance studio who goes there and dances cha-cha or salsa, or any one of the other rhythm dances, or foxtrot or tango, some of the slow dances. So you just see yourself going there, doing this, talking to people, right? Okay. All right. I'm not a member of a dance studio currently. I have been. I was in the past, so perhaps it's a little bit easier for me to talk about. But I think that, even if you have never been to a dance studio or a member of a dance studio, most of us can still imagine what it would be like. And I think a lot of people join dance studios for that very reason. Okay? All right. What should I do now, everyone? So let's review this. Tell me what I should be doing right now in the real IELTS. So if I'm in the real IELTS and I'm talking and I got to this point, what should I do? Okay, so the examiner says your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking. And I say, an awesome place to meet great people is Stars Dance Studio, located about 3 kilometers from my home. I frequent this studio at least once or twice each week to mingle with friends and newcomers. The studio is a bright space with lots of windows, located on the 2nd floor. It has a 30 by 30 meter dance floor and a kitchen for food and drink during dance parties and competitions. Mostly teenagers and adults frequent this venue to learn smooth and rhythm dances and share in their love of exercise and moving to great music. The dance teachers are outstanding and friendly individuals, always there to encourage and support new members. The reason this dance studio is fantastic for making new friendships and networking is because it is filled with energetic, healthy people who are like-minded in many ways, and everyone is in close proximity, especially for couples dances. So within a short time, people get to know each other well, trust each other, as dance is a great way to build trust and form valuable relationships. I have met several of my closest friends at this place over the past 4 years since I've been a member. Amra, very smart. Fuang, very smart. Fuang says, at this point, you should look at the cue card. Absolutely. Very important. This is probably the 3rd most important tip. Okay, so choose a great topic to answer. Okay, have your first sentence ready. Make sure it's a good sentence. And while you're speaking, look at the cue card. As long as you remember those 3 tips, you're going to do well in part 2, or you're going to do your best in part 2. Okay, why do I need to look at the cue card, everyone? Philo says, I'm always looking at the cue card. Philo, that's interesting. You shouldn't always be staring at the cue card. Okay, so you shouldn't continuously stare at the cue card. It's a good point, Philo. Okay. Alexi says to make a conclusion. No, not really, Alexi. The reason you have to look at the cue card is because it's very important that you answer all the questions on the cue card. And there's usually one that's kind of unusual. Okay, so let's look at it. It says, where is it? What does it look like? Who goes there? What activities happen there? Why is it a good place to meet people? And how does this happen? Okay, so look at this part here, the how does this happen? All right, so how does it happen that people meet new people at a dance club? Okay, or at a dance school, I should say. Okay, so think about this question. Give me some sentences here, members. Okay. You don't want to miss questions. That's right, Philo. You cannot miss questions on the cue card because that will hurt your IELTS speaking score. Okay, Natty, very good, because they have to dance in pairs. Okay, so the instructor always randomly pairs up dancers whom then introduce themselves and have short discussions before and after practicing new dance steps. Right? Okay, absolutely, Natty. I love it. Natty just jumped in and started giving some great ideas. Good job, Natty. Okay, Natty says the dance studio is a great place to meet new people as the teachers have to allocate couples together. Exactly, Natty. Good visualization. That's exactly what I had in my mind, right? The teacher says, okay, everybody whose birthday is between January and March, you are now going to be partners for this next salsa move. Please introduce yourselves to your partner. And then you say, hi, I'm Adrian. And then the other person says, hi, I'm Mary. And, oh, nice to meet you. Hi, Mary. What do you do? Oh, I'm a university student. Oh, really? Me too. What do you study? Okay, so a couple of words are exchanged and boom, you're networking, right? So you visualize that. Very good. Good job. Natty, I had the same idea. So the instructor always randomly pairs up dancers whom then introduce themselves and have short discussions before and after practicing new dance steps. And the start of a new relationship, right? Or possibly a new relationship, okay? So without a doubt, if a person in my area loves to dance and wants to meet with fun individuals, then Stars Studio is a fantastic place to be. Okay? All right. So that's kind of my concluding sentence. Okay? Now, definitely, Philo, this is a good point here. So you shouldn't always be looking at the cue card. That's going too far the other direction. So if somebody's continuously looking at a cue card, that's really not good. Why? Why is that not good? So why is it not good to just stare at the cue card? What do you think? Okay, give me an answer to this. I do want to hear your opinion. So why shouldn't I be, here, let me take a Post-it from my table here. Let me give you a better visual representation. So have you ever seen your classmate or somebody maybe in your company, in your work, give a presentation like this? Today, I'm going to be talking about the cafe that's near my home. It is located 500 meters from my place. It's a small cafe. There are coffee tables and chairs for people to sit and have discussions, and a barista. People from my local area go to this coffee shop often, and also people who are visiting go to this coffee shop. People ask the barista for coffee and chit-chat about what they're doing in their day. Okay, so have you ever seen a presentation like that? I have. And honestly speaking, my feeling when I see that kind of presentation is like, when is this going to be over? When do I get to get out of here and eat those delicious cookies and donuts and coffee that's out in the front of the presentation room? Jen says that was me once upon a time. Still a little shy though. Okay. Romelia says, I have to attend medical conferences. It's a part of my job. I feel awful when I have to speak in public. Yes, I agree with you, Romelia. It's a challenge and it's scary for a lot of people, but it's a very important and very good skill to learn, and you all have it in you, okay? So Dylan says, that's how some of my instructors were doing presentations where I was in college. Well, exactly. And how exciting were those presentations, right, Dylan? Probably not very exciting at all, okay? All right, so you can't just stare at the cue card. So you should look at the examiner and talk to them, okay? Talk to them, all right? But do check the cue card. Okay, everybody. So one more time, here is the cue card and the response for today. Again, remember these very important tips, okay? So choose your answer wisely. Tip number 1, okay? Tip number 2, make sure to have your first sentence ready, okay? Tip number 3, look at the examiner when you're talking, but for sure check the cue card after about 1 minute of talking to make sure you haven't gone off topic and to make sure that you've answered all of the questions. Follow these 3 tips and you're going to be in the right place for a high band score. Okay. All right, let's take a look here. So again, here's the cue card. Okay. Talk about where it is good to meet new people. Where is it? What does it look like? Who goes there? What activities happen there? Why is it a good place to meet people, and how does this happen? All right. So here's the answer. Students, this is speaking, so speak and repeat. Okay. The examiner says your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking. An awesome place to meet great people is Stars Dance Studio, located about 3 kilometers from my home. I frequent this studio at least once or twice each week to mingle with friends and newcomers. The studio is a bright space with lots of windows located on the 2nd floor. It has a 30 by 30 meter dance floor and a kitchen for food and drink during dance parties and competitions. Mostly teenagers and adults frequent this venue to learn both smooth and rhythm dances and share in their love for exercise and moving to great music. The dance teachers are outstanding and friendly individuals, always there to encourage and support members. The reason this dance studio is fantastic for making new friendships and networking is because it is filled with energetic, healthy people who are like-minded in many ways. And everyone is in close proximity, especially for couples dances. So, within a short time, people get to know each other well, trust each other, as dance is a great way to build trust and form valuable relationships. I have met several of my closest friends at this place over the past 4 years since I have been a member. The instructor always randomly pairs up dancers whom then introduce themselves and have a short discussion before and after practicing new dance steps. So without a doubt, if a person visits my area and wants to meet fun individuals, then Stars Studio is a fantastic place to be. All right, your time is up. I will stop you there. Let's continue with part 3. Okay. All right. Students, let's practice this. So hopefully some of our members have been thinking, where is a good place to meet new people? Where have I met some people over the past few years in my locality? Let's take some volunteers for speaking. Chen, if you could put the instructions in the chat and we'll just go through the steps. Firstly, we need to go to aehelp.com and we'll go from there. Here we go, everyone. So let's go to the website. Again, to sign up for that premium version of the course, just click that big red button that's right there. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access, so it's worth it. And then once you are in your My Student account and you've got your computer-based practice exams, your interactive course, lessons, videos, printable tests, click on this Student Partner Speaking right there. Okay. Right there. All right, let's click on that. Let's get in to the chat interface, and then now I'd love to have some volunteers, members especially. I'm looking for you to volunteer, and let's try this out. Philo, I know you were trying to set this up, so hopefully it worked. Let's see if we can reach out to Philo here. Philo, are you ready? I think we've talked to Philo before in the past. Yes, I have. I'm pretty sure. Hi, Philo.
Hello, Adrian.
How are you?
I'm really great, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm excited to hear your responses. So, just like...
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right. Philo, I will start you off just like the examiner. Give me a nice response to the best of your ability, and then we'll talk about it. I'll give you some feedback. How does that sound?
It sounds perfect.
All right, good. Okay, so here we go. Talk about where it is good to meet new people. Your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
So my favorite place to meet with new friends and socialize is definitely the dance parties, especially happening at Hotel Transylvania near my hometown. So it's already has a crowded crowd. It is already a crowded area full with new people and attractions. So it's easy to make new friends there. So this hotel it has a huge ballroom with a good sound system. So a lot of dancers go there. Specifically, there's Latin dance parties that I'm interested in going there because I'm a dancer for 10 years for now, and I generally dance the social dances like bachata, salsa, cha-cha, and etc. There are also the other dances happening there like hip hop and tango, but these are not interest me since they are more energetic or kind of boring. So people generally don't just go there to meet new people. Their main goal is to dance with new people, and I think that's what makes it beautiful because when people dance, it's heighten their emotions and mood, and in the breaks, people are happy to meet with new people and have some interactions with positive vibes. So this hotel has
Okay,
also
your time
has
is
a
up.
practice
I'm
room.
going to stop
Okay.
you there. And that's what happens. So the examiner has to stop you at about the 2 minute mark. I wasn't looking at the clock, but I think that was roughly 2 minutes there, Philo. All right. So as far as your band score goes, that would be about a band 6 to 6.5. I think your idea is really good, and you definitely caught my interest early on. I think you kind of got lost a little bit while you were speaking. So I could feel like your brain was going, okay, what should I say next? Like, how should I present this topic? And you were a little bit lost. So you had a little bit of trouble putting your ideas together clearly. from the middle to the end of your presentation. Definitely, this is where your notes would be big help. Here's a question, Philo. Do you have notes in front of you for this, or are you just going spontaneously?
No, I had notes in front of my screen, but I couldn't know the which topic should I choose to talk. Like I have all these keywords on my notes, but I struggle to find what to talk about.
Fair enough. So there's a good question within all this. Like, how do I structure this? How do I link this all together? So here, Philo, and this is of course for everybody, is where you really want to keep the concept of talking about a place. So location, appearance, attendees, activities, experience. So you keep that structure in mind, and that will guide you. Okay, so let me just jump back and we can take a look specifically at what you said. You said, so my favorite place to meet with new friends and socialize. I love the start when you said, so my favorite place. It gets me interested. Okay, that's definitely a way to capture my interest, your listeners' interest. Dance parties happening at Hotel Transylvania. Okay, that definitely caught my attention. Ooh, it sounds even famous, right? It's well known, especially from those animations that came out in the last few years. And then here is where it kind of got a little bit strange. So you said it is already a crowded area full of people and attractions. Like, what does that mean exactly? I didn't really get that. But then fortunately, you came back a little bit and gave a bit more clarity. You said this hotel has a huge ballroom with a good sound system. Okay, so lots of dances go on there. That was good. Okay, so when you introduced that concept of, okay, big ballroom, lots of dances happen there, that was fantastic. And you said specifically there's Latin dance parties. Here, the question as your audience in my mind is, okay, how often do dances happen here? Like you said, there's lots of dances. So how often is that, right?
Yeah.
So here I would have said something like, I go there at least once or twice each month to a dance party. Okay, and then how many people go there? Like 50, 100, 500. So how big are these dance parties, right? So remember numbers, right? Numbers are very, very useful. Can you try to give me a sentence for this now? So just go from, you can repeat this part. This hotel has a huge ballroom with a good sound system and lots of dances go on there. So repeat that part and then give me more details using numbers and times. Okay.
So this hotel has a huge ballroom with a good sound system. So like hundreds or 150 people go there. And I also, at least one times a week, I definitely go there.
Okay, good, right? So even though, your fluency needs to improve a bit, but the content is so good that it's making lots of sense because you're helping me build my visualization, right? A really good practice that everybody can try when you're practicing for speaking part 2, if you have the chance to do it with a partner, right? And I have done this in the past when I used to teach more ESL, not just IELTS, is get your partner to draw a quick picture of what you're saying. Right? If they're able to kind of draw this ballroom with a whole bunch of little people dancing, then you're making sense. But if they're not able to draw anything, if it's just a blank piece of paper or the drawing's very different, then you know that you need to improve in your speaking to make more sense, right? Okay?
Yeah.
So it's just a kind of a quick exercise. So your concepts are good. You just have to put them together better. And Philo, a good way to practice this as well is try the same question again and again until you're happy with it. So don't just jump to, talking about a different part 2 cue card every time you practice, but go back to the same one and practice it again and again. So today, maybe in a few hours or tomorrow, try this one more time, right? Does that make sense?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, Philo, thank you for being my first volunteer with this. I appreciate it. By the way, just a quick question: is it true? Is there a Hotel Transylvania where you go to dance parties?
And no, it is a weird name in my language,
Hmm.
so I choose the Transylvania probably because of the cartoon.
Okay,
I didn't
but it is
realize it.
but it is true that there is a hotel near your place where there's dance parties.
Yeah, I'm a dancer, so I really like to go to these dance parties there.
Hmm.
So yeah,
That's great. That's awesome. I'm happy to hear that, and I hope you have fun on that next dance party. I'm a bit jealous because I missed dancing these last few years. So, all
yeah,
right, Philo, have a
sure.
great rest of your weekend. We'll talk again soon. Thanks. Bye for
Thank you
now.
very much. See you.
All right, that was Philo. So Philo is a dancer. I thought that part of the story was true. So that was great. Okay, let's reach out to Silviana here. Not that I always go top to bottom, everybody, so hang in there. Silviana, are you ready? Thanks for the thumbs up, everybody, for Philo. Okay. Hi, Silviana.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How about you?
Yeah.
Actually, I will be there first because tomorrow is my exam.
Oh, really? You've got your exam tomorrow. Is it the whole exam? Do you have your speaking, reading, writing, listening, all of it in one day?
Yes.
Okay. What do you have first? The sitting part, the longer part, or the speaking?
The speaking part.
Speaking part, and then after a couple hours, you have the rest of it.
Yes.
Okay, that's a
So
good
it's
that's a good
one
way to
day.
have it. It's good to have the speaking before the sitting part of it. So it's good to get that done. Do you have any questions about that before we get into the speaking part too?
I think I don't have for now. Just want to practice my speaking.
Okay, is this your first time taking the IELTS?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hopefully the last time too, right? First
Yeah,
and last.
I hope I could get my estimate good score.
All right. I mean, the biggest tip that I can give you at this point is just, first of all, make sure to get good sleep. And just remember the sun will shine tomorrow. So be you. A good way to kind of calm yourself and not be stressed about it is it's a language exam. And, you know, I think sometimes people try to do like last minute learning or last minute studying. You can't do that. You can't do that for a language exam. Languages take years to learn, as you know. So there's nothing that you can do within 24 hours. The only important step within 24 hours of your test is just to have a confident, clear mind, good rest, and the rest of it will fall into place because a language is not learned in 24 hours. So you've already done your best. You've taken the right steps. So just be yourself, right?
Okay, sir,
Okay.
noted.
All right, and
I will.
the examiners and the proctors, even though they seem sometimes strict and very professional, they're not gods. They're just humans. They're there doing their job as well. So think about them that way. Speak to them respectfully, but they're not your boss. They're you deserve to be there. Okay. All right, Silviana,
Thank you,
let's
sir.
get into this part two, and we're all cheering for you to do well. Make sure you let us know how you did and tell us about your
Okay.
experience once you have it,
Okay,
okay?
sir.
So don't be like, oh,
I
thanks,
will.
guys. See you in the next lifetime. All right. So, Silviana, here we
Definitely
go.
not.
All
Okay.
right, thank you. All right. So, here we go. I will start you off. Are you ready? Here we
Uh-huh.
go. Talk
Okay.
about where it is good to meet new people. Your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
An interesting place that comes to my mind, which is perfect for meeting new people, is Stella's Dance Studio, which is located on the second floor of the Art Center in Kemang, South Jakarta, Indonesia. The studio is quite large, divided into three small dance rooms, two large dance rooms with full mirror wall, and a large ballroom for showcase event every year. Besides, there is also a clean kitchen full with food and drink at the back for students and teachers who want to take a break and recharge their batteries. The studio has been around since 2020 and produced many great stars. One of them is Ken Lang, who was the finalist of Asia's Got Talent last year. Therefore, it would be fantastic for making new friendship and networking because the studio is filled with energetic, healthy, and very talented people. It will boost people's confidence and dance skill on the right hand. People from all ages can join the dance class as long as they have passion and commitment to learn. Although most of the students are teenagers and adults, there is also a class for elders, such as slow couple dance, which my parents have taken. Furthermore, there are a lot of options for the class every day except Sunday because the studio is closed, like salsa, traditional, cha-cha, breakdance, slow dance, jazz, and also hip hop. The maximum capacity.
Okay,
The
I'm going to
maximum.
stop you there. Your time is up. And we will now continue with part 3. All right, first of all, that was fantastic. Okay, nice fluency. That was really good. Silviana, if you do that in your exam tomorrow, you are golden. You're going to get a great score. That was really good. That was so as far as your speaking goes, fluency, grammatical range, accuracy, lexical resource, so the marking criteria, you were pretty close to a band 9. Like you were up in the band 8, band 9 range. You were very fluent. That would be considered very good English. The one criticism, if I want to be, it's like, don't criticize me before my exam. But
Okay, sir.
if I want to, if
I
I really
need your feedback.
yeah, so if I want to criticize you before your test, the one criticism I would give you is make sure to keep reflecting the topic of the cue card. So you did it once, which was really good that you did that, where kind of in the middle you said here after it's been around since 2020, you said a little bit. You were so fast I couldn't keep up with you typing, but it was really good. And then in the middle there you said, therefore it will be fantastic for making new friendships. It was very smart of you to put that piece into the middle there. Otherwise it would have kind of felt like you're talking off topic or maybe something that's more memorized. So just make sure to do that tomorrow in your test to keep reflecting the original concept of the cue card, right? And try to do that in the end as well. So I think you started to really get into what this dance studio does and what people do there instead of making friendships, right? So make sure that you just come back to that a little bit more, okay? But overall, really fantastic, okay? So I'm sure you will do just fine tomorrow, all right?
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah. Do you have it's okay. If you have a question, ask it now.
Is it okay if my speaking is not finished by the time?
Yeah, it is. So if you get cut off like this in part 2, it's not the end of the world. Okay. Ideally, you do conclude your speaking part 2, so you can say something like, over the past or since 2020, even with COVID, I have made a few good friends there. You don't even need to say COVID. Nobody will think about it anyway.
Okay.
But yeah, but you should conclude it if possible. If not, though, it's fine. If you get interrupted like you just did now, it's fine. However, in part 1 and part 3, you should not be getting interrupted. Okay, so if you get cut off in part 2, it's okay. It's not the end of the world, but definitely don't have that situation in part 1 and 3. In part 1 and 3, make sure that you finish your answers. So give an answer, explanation, example, finish, okay?
Okay, sir. Not
All right.
Okay.
If you find the examiner is interrupting you in part 1 or part 3, then shorten your answers. Make them a bit more concise, okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, Silviana, good luck on your test tomorrow. We'll be there with you in spirit. Fingers crossed, and I have a feeling you'll do just fantastic. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right.
I will do my best.
Bye,
Bye.
Silviana. All right, students. So that was Silviana. And that kind of brings us to the end of the class, students. We'll do lots more speaking in the next class. I know we only had chances for 2 volunteers here, Philo and Silviana, but I think we'll end on that high note for this class. However, I'm going to focus most of the next class on speaking volunteers for speaking part 3. which will connect to this topic part 2. You can join the premium course by clicking that big red button there that's just above my head. Okay, again, it's a one-time payment. It's lifetime access. You can interact with other students. You can interact with me as well. Okay, we're going to take a short break for 30 minutes, as Chen is saying. Then I'll be back with speaking part 3, which will relate to speaking part 2 about places to meet people, to network, to form relationships. In the next 30 minutes, you can again check out the websites, download the apps, stretch your legs, have a refreshing cup of tea, cup of water, hydrate. And I look forward to having everybody join the chat. That will be an all chat class coming up in half an hour. Thanks so much for our 2 volunteers. Thank you, members, for your support. Much love to you, and see you shortly. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out for now, but I'll be back soon. Bye.